It's a Monday special episode this week. Let's get into it. I'm Carl Ragavan, Europe's original starting strength coach. This is Beautiful Strength. Welcome to the show. So this is an interesting week, currently in Montpellier, France. We had a really cool belated kind of birthday week planned. So we rented a car and we went to stay in Mougins for 2 nights, and then we got to hang out in this beautiful hotel with a pool and all of that. And we also drove up to Monaco and Aix, and then we drove back all in the same night. So that was a big drive, a lot of driving. So to get to Mougins day one, hang out, and then come back the next day. So it was awesome, really lovely. And yeah, so with that being said, this week, the only days I had to train was Monday and Friday. So I actually started back into a 4-day routine, which is kind of my preference right now. Sometimes I can compress it into 3, but the sessions take quite long and more than 3 lifts have to happen, especially when you're lifting heavy. Putting all my efforts into doing 3 solid lifts on the Monday and Friday. The rest of it is just kind of fluff, and kind of because of what was going on with my back, a lot of the lifts like dumbbell press and seated press, different things of that nature, you know, skipping chins and dips for a week and direct arm work, it's not gonna affect my overall progress. So instead of trying to cram all that stuff in, and again, I was going to be sitting down traveling. So that's the other thing to note is a travel hack, is especially when you know you're going to be doing a lot of travel, like sitting down just kind of beats the crap out of your back and whatever, shoulders and bits and pieces. So just trying to get in and do the bare essentials is actually a blessing, not a curse. What was really crazy is in my mind, it feels like this back strain has been only a 2-3 week problem. But actually, if I look back at my training logs, it was actually at week 20, I reintroduced rack pulls a little too heavy. So I've been saying this to a couple of friends of mine. So 310 kilos for a rack pull is closer to a deadlift I should probably be doing by like week 4 or week 6. And because I came off a fresh cycle of doing heavy singles off the floor, so like 280 for like 3 singles, 310 really didn't feel that hard, but because of my back was just a little bit detrained to the rack pull, it just kind of created this problem. So yeah, so back in this week, finally, week 5, my back, especially on the press, was starting to play nice, which is a relief. So Monday session went in. This is another thing which is interesting. When my back was most fragile, the first couple of weeks into this back strain, I was doing a little bit of, snatching and power cleans. And the thing which was most jarring was landing, because that impact, boom, of kind of landing, I can feel it kind of jar my back. So the power snatches felt great. You'll see a set of 2 with 72.5 kilos. The more important thing was how my press felt. So I did 107.5 kilos. And it was actually really strange. I was doing triples. So I did 5 triples on 107.5. And what was really weird is even on the first set, the 3rd rep, I got a teensy bit of layback, and my mind was actually kind of shocked because I was expecting pain and my power to just be cut off like it has been in the past. And it just really threw me. So even when I brought it down, I was just like, oh, no pain. So by the 3rd set, I filmed all of these. So by the 3rd set, I was starting to feel really confident. So a little mini double layback was happening. By the 3rd set, I probably could have cranked out 5s. But just to stay conservative for this week, I ran 5 triples with that weight. But I definitely feel like going forward next week, I'll probably be able to do 3 sets of 5 with 110 and maybe do 5 kilo jumps Because again, bearing in mind, I've actually got a competition, strength lifting meet in 6 weeks. So this setback hopefully won't be a deterrent in getting the numbers I want now, because starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel. Another lift that has been plugged in, because my haltings and rack pulls have not been the kind of numbers that are like typical strength for me. So a lift that has worked well as a stopgap, as like a light deadlift variation, is some RDLs. So you'll see a set of 5 with 170. Again, this is more traditional how you would do a rack RDL, where you pick it off the pins, take one step out, not too far away from the rack, and just do your set of 5 and put it back in. Sometimes people like to do rack pulls where they pull the first rep up, but then you have to remember, like, that doesn't count. Picking the weight off the floor is a deadlift, and then you go into your RDLs. So those of you who do RDLs from the floor, remember that first rep is 0. So another question I got asked from my training logs is how my squat has been going since this back strain. And weirdly enough, out of all the 3 lifts, squat, press, deadlift, my squat has probably been the least affected. So like I've said before, when I unrack the bar, that spinal compression, when the bar is driving down, that's when it really starts to panic and snap at me and be a bit angry. But as I lower myself down, it actually starts to ease off, which is a very weird feeling, knowing you've got pain. And then as you bend forward and lower yourself into a squat, it actually kind of goes away. So I started conservative with 170 kilos on the first week after this little back strain. And I've just been adding 10 kilos every week. So this week you'll see I did 3 sets of 5 with 200, and actually it's starting to feel really good. So again, I feel like, 6 weeks from now, numbers should be where they need to be for the numbers I want to squat. The reason it's not been videoed here is because it's not a priority lift. My current focus is press and deadlift. So when it comes to heavy day, that's the numbers I'm focusing on. Whereas my squat is usually on a Monday or Tuesday. Obviously, I'm still making progress and pushing it, but it's not got the same emphasis of me trying to demand serious numbers from it, because I just kind of want it to simmer. I don't have to push the throttle down. Yeah, because those of you who know, I'm pushing for a 160 press and then a 300 deadlift. So that's my main priority. You know, a 275 squat is fine for now. And when I want to push squats again, I might be squatting twice a week. But once a week right now is all I do, which is on a Monday or Tuesday, depending on if I'm doing a 3 or a 4 day routine. So yeah, you'll see some squats. But yeah, out of all the lifts, I would say the squat has been the most friendly and kind and not had too much performance affected. I guess in a way it kind of affects your confidence, but my power and my overall numbers just hasn't been affected on the squats. So that's all from this Monday episode. If you liked what you saw, comment, like, share, subscribe. You know the business. I'm Carl Ragavan. That was Beautiful Strength. And remember, the barbell never lies.